Think fast. What was Sonic meant to be in the 90s? He was meant to be cool. Congratulations, my student. You want to know what else is cool? Wrong shot. I mean this. This. That's cool, ain't it? So I know what you're thinking. Yeah, he's cool. What kind of point is that? Yes, I'll get to that in 1 second, but Sonic has been through, in the past, 4 types of cool, and now we're going on to this 5th one, which is easily the best because it's actually kind of cool. But the first one was obviously in the 90s and Adventure 2. I'm going to count that, obviously. It's this, you know, cool all the time, cool dude with an attitude kind of thing. Like, it was meant to appeal strictly to that 90s audience. And it did. It worked. And that was the strategy they were going for. And they hit it home because obviously that was who they were appealing to. Now, the early 2000s doesn't really have a name. It's kind of a mixed bag. Hey, dude, check this out. Yo, it's my desktop background. No way. So yeah, the 2000s were a weird mixed bag, but Unleashed is its own kind of cool. It's a pretty good one. It definitely would be my favorite if it wasn't for Frontiers at the moment. It's got this good blend because it's not all the time cool or super edgy. It's actually like heartfelt, but it's in a way that he's a cocky piece of garbage when he needs to be. So it works pretty well here. I'm starting an apology video. It's the meta era. Nobody likes this. Any of it. It's kind of... yeah, it strikes fear into my soul. I am scared. I don't want to see this ever again. But yeah, the tone is super random. It's, yeah, Sonic got tortured for 6 months, but, you know, just walk it off, like they might say. There's just a lot of inconsistency, bad writing, a weird tone because it's meant to be like a sort of serious story, but like super out of left field weird jokes. It's like trying to be serious, but a Saturday cartoon at the same time, and those styles are so ridiculously clashing that it makes 0 sense. Like, I don't know what's going on, like, ever in half of these stories. Except Generations, it doesn't have a story. Oh look, Sonic's passed out. Oh look, there's Green Hill. Is that a chemical plant? How many times do I have to see these? But now on to this 5th style that we're just going into. Like I said, there was 4 when I was talking about the past, but now we're on to this 5th one, this new one. Please keep this up, please. This is the kind of cool that isn't cocky or edgy or just a mixed bag whenever it wants to be. This is the kind of cool that would be like chilling, like, but it's not all the time. It's in reserved spots, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Titans.
Huh, turn it off. That's cringe.
These buckaroons. Buckaroons. I bet when you played these fights, you either A, got chills, or B, you know why people got chills. Because, oh my goodness, this is crazy. Like, I swear this must be one of those things at Sega where they just woke up and they were like, hey, we should make the most insane boss fights ever seen in gaming. And they were like, you know what? We should try making something good for once, and they did it. And they stuck the landing. I can't say that with like anything else ever in the series, but they stuck the landing. They had an idea, they had great models, character, like everything about it was great, but the gameplay, everything stuck the landing just right. It's great. What do I need to tell you? You've played these. But now comes the next problem. All the concepts here, and literally most of the game is like peak Sonic. Like, for me, it's my favorite Sonic game as a whole package. It has its flaws, it has a lot of cracks in it, but as a thing, I can look past those and see what's so great about the game. It has a rougher shell. It doesn't have that much polish. It doesn't look that great from a standpoint. Like, when you look at it, you're like, it looks kind of okay. But it's really good once you get into what actually the game's trying to be. Even though it might do it in a sort of wonk way and it might not achieve what it could, it still gets pretty close. And though the lack of polish and some obvious issues with the game, it's still great. And it's my personal favorite Sonic game. But like I said, those issues they're issues. They shouldn't be there. So everything is lined up for this game's sequel. Like, everything is ready. Everything is there. They just have to stick the landing. And the problem is, that is the one thing Sega sucks at. Sticking the landing. It's what it always is. It may be because the game was rushed. It doesn't matter what the reason was. But they can't stick the landing. But really what I'm trying to say is that this game was great, but it failed to stick the landing at the end. And it had a really, really bad end game, which sucks so bad because everything else up to Chaos Island was just so good. And Chaos Island wasn't even bad, it just wasn't good. It was the least of the islands, but that's not to put it to shame. I mean, the night fight was... Whew. Please, Sega. Stick the landing.